How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to the House of Fata Morgana, where we are continuing to try and unravel the nest egg that is figuring out the free Morgana and possibly even helping her understand, more in-depthly, the positions of everyone who was involved in her death and imprisonment. But, as depressing as that topic is, it's about on par with what's going on in the rest of the world, because man, a week makes a difference, doesn't it? Certainly makes a difference here in the US, but it's all over the world. Everything's kind of going up and bananas, so I don't want to dwell on it. This is all point this channel is going to be for entertaining, sharing good stories, sharing hobbies, and being able to share something that's escapism. I just want to encourage all of you to be safe. You'll be intelligent, keep yourselves clean, stay away from places where you might get infected, and ultimately just try and be a decent human being. This isn't all just about avoiding you getting sick. It's all about trying to keep others from getting sick too. It kind of feels like if convergence points were real, like from Steins Gate, this kind of feels like it might be one of those things where it's like a massive event that it's gonna happen. But we're gonna make it through. It's gonna be all right. I just want to make sure you guys know I'm gonna be here making content as much as I can. My schedule has both gotten more free and busier with all the shakeups going on, but there's some good stuff to look forward to. I should be starting a new series coming up here really soon, so get excited for that. I'll be doing some Persona 5 playthrough with the new Persona 5 Royale. Hopefully I won't have any issues with it. Last time they had some pretty heavy bans on streaming, but majority of the game is the same, so I'm guessing there won't be too many issues, but we'll see. I'll keep an eye on that, but I've got the setup almost ready back here, and so I'm real excited to get that started. I'm just going to do some tests on it in the next few weeks, and we'll be getting going with that. And I just finished my Friday series, the Princess Stray Cat and Matters of the Heart, so just an FYI, if you were here when I was doing Chunobyo, First Graduation, which I believe I had going when I started Fata Morgana, I'm going to be doing a short story that's like a kind of a half story that comes, it's 1.5 effectively of that. Should be fairly quick to go through. Really fun story if you haven't seen it. It's a great one to go watch, especially if you have a lot of free time in your hands and you haven't seen it. It has some really intriguing social topics it goes on to, and I can prep you for that. And then we've got a few other things on the horizon as well. So I'm real excited about that, but most importantly, let's get to this story and figure out what's going to be happening. So I decided last time, while it might not really matter ultimately, because I can just come back here if I need to, if I'm making the choice here, I'd rather walk her back, because I think it would give us an opportunity to continue to get to know her and help her trust us more. Something could happen on our way back home, obviously, but I think it'd be better to be safe. I would feel better knowing you made it back safely. I'm telling you, I don't need an escort. But if you insist, you're welcome to accompany me. The brothel's in the back streets. If you want, you can even stay for a bit, have a little fun. I think I'll have to pass. Maybe one day you'll get that stick out of your butt. Giselle. What? Oh, hello. What is it? You've been so quiet, I was getting concerned. It's good to know you're still there. I guess I sort of dozed off for a bit. I'm fine though, no need to worry. Are you sure? I thought she didn't need the sleep. Yeah, just remind me what's going on, would you? Ooh, that's very not good. You're positive nothing's wrong. Positive as positive can be. I promise, I just nodded off. I just convinced Maria to let me escort her back to the brothel. Seriously? Should I not have offered? I didn't think you were thoughtful enough to accompany a lady home at night. That's a low blow. I thought that's what Dieter would have done, so that's what I did. Ah, I see. Well, make sure she gets back safely then. I will. Yo? Let me try that again. You gonna just stand there? Get moving or I'll leave you in the dust. Don't like how she's having a bit of trouble there or something. Alright, this should do. The back streets aren't particularly welcome to new faces popping up and wandering around after dark. Wouldn't want you to get mugged on your way back. I don't need that on my conscience right now. Alright. Out of curiosity, is the brothel you work at now the same one that was attacked 4 years ago? Nah, different place. Unless someone's done something with it, the one from 4 years ago is still abandoned. I've thought about fixing it up, getting everyone back there. There's not many of us left, and, well, I'm not even sure I want to go back there myself, you know? Understandable. What was Morgana like when she was there? Not sure what to tell you. She never talked much, so I'm not sure if she even liked being around us. I can assure you she did. She told me her time at the brothel was one of the few chapters of her life she remembers fondly. If that's true, that's great to hear. There were times I thought maybe we should take her as to an orphanage somewhere. But, well, you know how my experience living in one of those went, so, yeah. But all the same, it's not like a bunch of whores are gonna make better parents. So I was never really sure it was the right thing was to do. And then after the raid, well, I felt like crap. She didn't have to be there, but I stupidly thought that it would be a good idea to keep a little girl in the lawless back streets. I can't tell you what the best choice would have been. But I could tell you her time with you changed her for the better. So you don't need to feel guilty about choosing to keep her there. I appreciate it. If it's not too much trouble, could you tell me about Morgana in more detail? It's a bit late tonight, so how about tomorrow? Got a little something I want to give you, too. Oh? It's nothing much, but you'll see. I'll sneak into the courtyard again tomorrow night. Alright. I'll meet you there then. Anyway, I'm off. Actually, one more thing before I go. Take this. What? A knife? To protect yourself. You sure don't look like you're carrying anything. I'm not, but if I take this, then you... It's fine, I've got to. Be prepared, she's a good Boy Scout. Or Girl Scout, Boy Scout, same thing, yeah. You have. Collecting pointy things is one of my hobbies. That does not sound like a safe hobby. Anything with a nice sharp tip sends shivers down my spine. Makes my heart skip a beat. I'm not sure those are appropriate feelings to have about a blade. This reminds me of the time Jacopo gave Maria a cartridge. She got plenty excited about that too. I can understand taking an interest in weaponry, but hers seems somewhat excessive. Dangerously so. Anyway, I don't see why you shouldn't take it. She has a point. It is dangerous out at night. Interesting. I'd honestly rather not be carrying a knife at all. What? Why not? They scare you. I'll be fine. It's only for self-defense, not hurting other people. That could involve hurting other people. Really, you don't have to worry about me. I do appreciate the consideration, though. If you say so. Okay, I'll take it. Thank you. It's nothing. Just give it back to me tomorrow night and we're all good. Anyway, see you then. Stay warm. I'm pretty sure I'm dressed much warmer than her. We should get going too. Alright. It is chilly tonight though. Okay. So, gained 1 knife. That alone might have been worth it. Is it true? Did you hear that? I thought I heard a voice. I did. It came from the bushes over there. I'm going to see if I can get a little closer. Who is it? Ooh. About the observation tower. Uh-oh. This could be bad. Huh. Do you believe it is? Are we witnessing a tryst? Is that how you say that? Tryst? In any other circumstance, I would just walk on and let them be. But she mentioned the tower, so I can't. We should listen in and try not to get caught. Agreed. Several different people have told me the same thing. That there's someone being held in the tower. Who was the first to mention it?
Michel. You know, the man who showed up yesterday? He's staying in a room in the mansion.
Ah, the one with the white hair.
Yes, him.
Well, crap! Who else told you?
Nellie. And while he hasn't said anything to me personally, she says Mel confirmed it as well.
I see. There is no need for concern. The only thing in the tower is the Lord's fortune. Trust me, please. We're dead. We're dead, we're dead, we're dead. Unless we get him first somehow. Pauline. You know how many enemies the Lord has. You know many of them would like nothing more than to see him fall. This allegation is that he has someone imprisoned in his personal property is nothing more than a fabrication by these people. Don't be one of them. Support him. Support me. It's a terrible shame Mel and Nellie think the Lord would do such a thing. Don't listen to him, Pauline. He's lying to you. Should I stay hidden, or should I intervene?
I believe you more than anyone in the world. You have my complete trust, you know that. But I would still like to see for myself. If there's no one in the tower, then that proves their accusations are baseless.
Pauline.
I want to trust you even more, so please, let me see what's in the observation tower.
Score 1 for the good guys.
Please. You say there's no one there, so it shouldn't be any problem, right?
Okay. I'll talk to the Lord when he's here tomorrow. I can't let you in without his permission, of course. But once I've spoken with him, I'll take you to see what's in the tower.
Thank you.
Are they gonna try and move her? It's getting late. You should head back.
Okay.
Don't look so glum, Pauline. We'll see each other again tomorrow night, as usual.
Yeah. Well, good night.
Good night.
It sounds like she's convinced him.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. He could always move Morgana before letting Pauline in. We'll have to keep a close eye on him tomorrow. I know you're out there. We're screwed!
What?
Show yourself. If you won't come to me, then I'll have to come to you. I have a good idea where you're hiding.
Michel?
Could be a bluff. Finally decided to show yourself, did you? How did you know I was there? Simple. I can sense the presence of others. That's hardly what I would call simple for the most people. I was hoping to enjoy the show a little longer. Oh, man. Huh? You remember what I said about supper at our little slideshow? What about it? Well, it looks like we've gotten off script. Go off what? You still don't get it?
He sounds pretty agitated, Michel. You need to get out of there now.
Can you not see him, Giselle?
What?
He's got his hand on his sword. I can't risk turning my back on him. Fetch. I should have stepped in while Pauline was still around.
I don't have many opportunities to do these days, so I was planning on taking it nice and slow. There are so many obstructions outside, it makes it kind of work difficult. Michel?
I might have made a mistake. If you care about the nun, about Pauline, if she really means something to you, then you need to set Morgana free. Keeping her locked up will bring no one anything but pain, and that includes Pauline. And why? Should I care? Oh no! Oh, he's back again. Oh, that face.
Michel!
Ugh. I feel something resembling a gale, and the next thing I know, the man's inches away from me, swinging his sword down. The knife. Miraculously, I managed to get the blade out just in time, catching his sword mid-descent with a sharp clang. That's not going to protect us for long. For a very brief moment, a look of perplexity crosses his face. Now's my chance to run. Nope. Ah!
Michel!
How? I stagger from the impact. As if I fall to the ground, I catch sight of it. The curvy blade sticking out of my chest. He must have thrown his sword to prevent my escape. Ugh.
Michel, what's happening? Stay with me. You have to stay with me.
I focus on seeing pain spreading through my chest to keep my mind from growing any hazier. I begin crawling, trying to put some distance between us. And from behind, the man slams his heel into my back. How anticlimactic. I thought you'd hold out a little longer, considering you managed to brandish the knife.
Don't, please. What are you doing? Get away from him, I'm begging you. Spare him.
There's a name engraved in the handle. So it's not even your knife. Maria? Put that down.
Michel!
Who did you get this from? Answer me. Not feeling cooperative, are we? A knife has always belonged to me. Maria simply refers to the Virgin Mary. Oh yeah, that's Michel, sorry. Well, I shouldn't be too hard to find who they are. I know it's not her, at least. So, Mel, his sister, and this Maria are all colluding with you. What are you gonna do to them? That should be obvious. Leave them alone.
Why did this have to happen?
It's not funny. The more lives you take, the farther you become from human. That's not what you want, is it? I've always been a killer. I've always had this insatiable urge to take life. But I know you also wanted to enjoy your reunion with them in the afterlife.
Michel!
And there we go. You beg for your life, would you? Crawl through the dirt like the web you are and beg me to spare you.
Why are you doing this? No, please stop.
Good night. Not even a scream, really. Bah, you're no fun.
Stop it, don't do it.
Oh, he's a maniac. And there we go. Shoot. The man deranged cackling, and Giselle's desperate screams began fading into the distance. I've long since lost any sort of idea about the condition of my body. In my attempts to save Giselle and Morgana, I've managed not only to fail that, but endanger everyone who was kind enough to help me. What have I accomplished? Anything at all? Am I gonna die every time? I'm so bad! Ending 0, dead end. Yeah, don't rub it in, stupid. Okay, I'm so bad at this. Yes, okay, back to where we go. I wonder, have I even dodged death? Like, have I really actually dodged it? Because I feel like every decision that I've made didn't really matter. And the ones that had mattered, I always die. I did great getting to the endings right. And then, now, of course, stupid. Alright.
I appreciate the thought. See ya.
Hold on a sec.
Something else you needed?
I would like, if you could, for you to tell me about the time you spent with Morgana. Anything you can, no matter how insignificant it may seem. I want to know what kind of life she had there.
How's tomorrow sound?
Tomorrow?
I'll sneak into the courtyard tomorrow night. Meet me there and I'll tell you what you want to know.
Why not now, though?
No real reason. Just need a little time to sort things through. See you tomorrow night. Stay warm.
Not even a chance to get another word in. Also, I feel like I'm dressing much warmer than her. Tomorrow night. That doesn't leave us with much time. Giselle? Giselle? Sorry, I cursed my hand. I clicked again.
What? Ah, hello? What is it?
You've been so quiet, I was getting concerned. It's good to know you're still there.
I guess I sort of dozed off a bit. I'm fine though, no need to worry.
Are you sure?
I think we should head back too. We've done about everything we can today.
You're right. Running into Maria was a good stroke of luck. Thanks to her, we now have confirmation that the nun is indeed Paulina. And we've potentially convinced Paulina to try and talk to the Swordsman.
Depending on how things pan out tomorrow, we could be getting very close to accomplishing our goal. I'm sure it'll be smooth sailing, just like with Mel.
So far, I don't think so. I certainly hope so. That Swordsman's gonna be a problem, though.
So, before you go to sleep, do you want to talk for a bit?
That's not nice. Of course. In fact, I was about to ask you the same thing.
That's what you say, but on the inside, you actually enjoy being surrounded by girls more than talking to me, don't you?
And you seem to enjoy teasing me.
I'm just kidding.
Truthfully, I don't think I've ever wished you were there to save me more than then. I've never been comfortable in such spirited environments.
Put 3 women in a room and it'll get like that, yeah? I can see that being overstimulating.
I could not have been more out of my element.
I don't know. You seem to fit pretty well to me.
You really think so?
You made for a great plaything.
Oh yes, I am quite good at that, aren't I? I will say, there was one thing about the whole affair that surprised me.
Oh? What would that be?
I did not expect I would be able to have such a normal social interaction and not be because I'm awkward or a poor conversationalist. For the most of my life, I was cursed, irregular, and you were the only one who didn't treat me like that. That came to be what I saw as normal. And as such, being able to participate in a social gathering like that is very exotic sensation. It feels almost like it shouldn't be possible.
You are normal, Michel. An ordinary man.
This right here, this is what I wish I always had in life. And for me to finally attain it in death. Better late than never, right? I suppose lamenting the details would make me ungrateful. I am glad to have had the experience, though.
I'm glad to hear it. So, I know I've been talking about how much I want to save Morgana, and that hasn't changed. Neither has my desire to change everyone's future. But if you want to leave this place, to go somewhere far away and have a life of your own, you have my full support. You've got everything you've ever wanted. You have the right to choose to stay here and live in this time.
I wouldn't dream of it. I am not going to leave you trapped in that darkness. I will not make the same mistake twice. Regardless, there's no point in me choosing a life without you there as well, in the flesh.
Okay then. Well, I'll be here when you wait. I'll be here waiting.
Hopefully not for long. I really think Morgana and I have a great deal in common.
What?
One the daughter of God, one demon child. We were both forced into inhuman roles, living lives of solitude, constantly having things we cared about taken away from us, including ultimately our lives. The biggest difference between me and her is that I had you. If you hadn't been there at the end of my mortal life, perhaps I too would have grown to despise those who had put me through such misery, curse their very souls. She had no one, though. Not a single person to be there for her final days.
From where she told us, though, her life wasn't all sorrow and misery. She did eventually come to find happiness in her time at the brothel.
In fact, she even said that that's where she learned to experience joy. While I know there were a number of girls there. If Maria was one of them she was periodically close with, perhaps her being there could have a positive effect on Morgana.
We'll have to see what she says tomorrow night.
That we will. And then our time limit is noon the next day. So we'll need to have everything necessary figured out by then. Everything it will take for her to have the change of heart.
I'm not worried one bit. I have complete confidence in you, Michel.
I wish I did. What? I didn't realize. Curse my hand! No, so he says, I am somewhat worried.
What's there to worry about? Here, I'll shout. You can do it 100 times.
You're planning to cheer me to death?
I just wanted every last bit of you to know I'm rooting for you.
I assure you, you made that abundantly clear.
Hey, there was something I want to tell you, if that's alright?
Yes.
When I learned about your past, about your body, it came as a big shock to me. That said, I'm confident you know that my feelings for you haven't changed one bit.
I do.
But what I want you to know is that even if I'd found out back then, instead of after having waited hundreds of years for you to return, my feelings still would not have changed. If you had told me when we were alive, I would have still accepted you. Now, of course, I know it's not something you could have come out with so easily, especially considering everything you went through because of it. We only lived together for a little over a year, and we were only partners for a month. So I understand how difficult it would have been to think I wouldn't push you away. But I'm not sure you grasp just how much I loved you even then.
Aww.
My wounds ran deeper than I even knew, and them fully healing was simply not possible. Anyone else's touch, anyone else's warmth, my heart and body would have rejected. I sincerely wish I'd expressed that to you more clearly. That it had to be you. That I needed you.
I did believe at the time that I could start over with you. That we could have a normal life together. Or well, I fooled myself into believing it. But I could never rid myself of the guilt and shame. And how it was impossible for me to give that to you. I never imagined our future together. I would imagine our future together. You smiling with our children in your arms, praying with them, scolding them, teaching them. And then I would remember I am incapable of giving you those children, of even engaging in the prerequisite acts. And the more I wished for your happiness, the tighter the guilt constricted me. I do apologize for not saying anything.
You carried far more weight than any one person should have ever had to carry alone. But you didn't have to do that anymore. But you don't have to do that anymore. For one, I'll support you no matter what. And in this time, you're normal to everyone, not only to me. You have allies. You don't have to take everything on yourself anymore.
I don't know if the Swordsman's gonna let that.
I love you, Michel. I do. I absolutely adore you.
Where is this coming from?
I wanted to say it, so I did. Is that a problem?
No, no problem.
You're blushing, aren't you? Your cheeks are as red as tomatoes. Ah, I wish I could see you now.
I'm going to open the window.
Why? It's night. It's going to be cold.
Exactly. I need to cool down. Ah.
Huh? What are you eyeing at?
It's a spring snow. It's gorgeous. There was hardly a cloud in the sky. There's hardly a cloud when I was out earlier, and now it's snowing.
Are you worried Maria might catch something out in this weather?
Hopefully she's in bed by now. I've never seen it snow in the spring before. Maybe I just wasn't paying any attention to what lay beyond the dark walls of that house.
Maybe.
Have you?
Have I
Seen a springtime snow before?
3 or 4 times, perhaps? So not very often, no.
Ah, so you've seen this already.
Would it have been better if I hadn't?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I just thought it would be nice if it was the first time for the both of us.
You sound like a little kid.
Is that childish? Well, I don't mind either way. I'm still glad my first time seeing it isn't alone. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Little specks of white drifting through the darkness.
Yes, I can see it. It's beautiful.
I don't think she's telling the truth.
I'm happy I could see this with you too.
I worry she's fading. The she might be on the timetable too.
You don't want the wind to cool you off too much now. I think it's time you went to warm back up.
Sorry, I was so engrossed by the sight.
Maybe it'll stick and you can see it again tomorrow. The grounds will be quite lovely covered in snow. But for now, you should get some sleep.
I suppose.
You already passed out once today. You need to make sure you're well rested.
Hard to argue with that. I'll be counting on your help again tomorrow. Our success or failure depends on how tomorrow goes.
That it does. Let's make it count.
Good night, Giselle.
Good night, Michel.
What's wrong, Giselle? If she's not there when we wake up, I'm going to be very upset. I'm going to be very, very upset. One day until her death. That's the cellar, right? Uh-oh. That's not good! Huh. Oh, huh. My head feels like someone drove a spike through it. Well, what's going on? Am I in the cellar? Ugh. What? My hands are tied up behind my back. Gah. What am I doing down here? Wait. Giselle. Giselle? Say something, Giselle. Unable to make any sort of sense out of my circumstances, it's not long after I regain consciousness that panic begins to set in. And the most unsettling thing of all, the most frightening detail, is the fact that I can't hear her voice. Fetch! Ah! Oh wait, Garwi. Are you the one who brought me here? What, you don't remember this morning? Morning. Right. I woke up because I heard someone enter the room, and then he hit me over the head. You're not dead, at least. That's good. What do you hope to accomplish by tying me up and bringing me down here? Remember what I said last night at supper about me putting on a little slideshow for you? What? I was reenacting the Last Supper with you as the guest of honor. That sucks. Ah, now I see. When you were asking if I had any family or friends, you were trying to find out if anyone would notice if I disappeared, or if anyone would make any noise. You're sharper than you look. If only you'd caught on yesterday. Please, Giselle, say something. Giselle, why won't you answer me? Why can't I hear your voice? Why can't I feel you there? You're a quiet one. I thought you'd be a little louder. What made you decide to get rid of me? Did the nun say something? She has nothing to do with this. I have permission from the Lord to act on my own discretion. Should I come across anyone acting suspicious? This doesn't seem in the least bit wrong to you. I wouldn't say that. You're an acquaintance's friend who made a long trip to come see him, and I have you tied up in the cellar. That's not what I would consider right, no.
But seeing as you're good enough friends with him to let him you stay here, I assume he's also spilled everything. He never had what it took. That boy. If I were to guess, it got to be too much for him to handle, so he went to a friend. To you.
Leave him out of this.
I see. So how much did he tell you? If you come clean, I might even let you go. Get rid of him, have you take his place.
I said leave him out of this.
So you're determined not to talk, are you? What a loyal friend.
Listen to me.
Listen? Oh, I'm listening.
Oh, I hate that. There's something so inhuman about him. The character design is so good. It's terrifying.
Look at that. If you saw anyone who looked like that, you'd know you're either about to die or he's like some kind of contortionist. Because you have a lot of talking to do. I don't have many chances to let loose, so I'll be taking as much time as I can get today. He says it in an eerie flat tone of his voice as he draws near, pausing between each step as if to taunt me. And when he reaches me, struggling to get off the ground, he slams his heel into my shoulder. Not being able to use your hands makes you appreciate how much easier it is to stand up when you can, doesn't it?
Help. Someone help! Please!
Don't waste your energy. No one ever comes back this far. And the door's so heavy your screams will never make it out. But that's the least of your worries. The door to the cellar's been locked, and the only key is right here. There's no getting in. If you can run fast enough, you might have a chance of making it to the door and escaping. Want to test your luck? I doubt you can make it. He puts the full weight of his body into his heel, pressing down on my spine, turning my breaths into gasping sputters. I gather together all my strength, but even that isn't enough to overpower him. Now you're gonna tell me everything. What are you and the boy scheming? What's your end game? And who else is in on it?
Ugh. Dang it. I don't have many options here. What can I even do in this situation?
Tell me what I want to know, and maybe I'll let you live. I guess I have no choice but to tell him the truth.
Alright, fine, I'll tell you everything. Just know that this isn't some attempt to beg for mercy. I came to this mansion in order to unlock the door of the observation tower and free Morgana. Mel was not the one who told me about her, though. I went to him and asked for his assistance. He didn't have to tell me because I already knew. Both about her and what you're doing to her, stealing her blood to make medicine from it.
Who told you then?
Morgana did. Morgana's soul told me everything. I'm not from this time. I lived in a time after her death.
It takes me several moments to process what just happened. The fire runs up my arm from my little finger, only turning into pain when it finally reaches my brain. I twist my head back to see the man on top of me holding my right hand. My finger snapped backwards at the second joint. Ugh. I'll ask you again. Who told you?
Morgana did. She dies on the day of the Harvest Festival.
Next up is your ring finger, and then your middle, if you insist on keeping this up.
I'm telling you the truth. She bears so much hatred she casts a curse upon your souls. I've seen what happens in your next life.
Gah! This is not good, man. Now you're resorting to souls and next lives. I'm genuinely impressed. What lies are you going to cook up next, white-haired naive?
If I don't set Morgana free, your souls will be enslaved for all eternity, imprisoned in this cursed mansion. When the bell tolls noon on the day of the Harvest Festival, you lose everything. All of you will. You cannot escape it unless you do something. And the nun, the reason you locked Morgana up in the first place. She won't be safe either. She'll be killed. Ah!
2 fingers left. Can you keep up the act that long?
Huh. Everything I'm saying is the truth. I've seen it all with my own 2 eyes.
Why are you so insistent on maintaining this farce? Is it to protect the boy, or do you have some other motive?
Eddie's very last word is true.
Continuing to lie isn't going to make this any easier. Your voice is shaking. The pain's starting to get to you, isn't it?
What you're doing to Morgana, it achieves nothing. You must release her and atone for your sins. Otherwise your soul and the souls of those you care about will be doomed to suffering.
I see what this is now. You don't have the information I want, so all you can do is spin these lies.
You thick-skulled fish.
There are other options, though. Beg me for mercy. Sob like a little child, sniveling your please don't kill me's and I don't want to die's, and it hurts so bad please stops. Grovel on the ground, you tiny pathetic man, and if you can entertain me, maybe I'll consider it.
Of course he won't. Of course he won't. This is just what he likes. For trying to get his jollies off. I will never shed another tear. And I will never beg for your mercy. Nothing I've said to you has been a lie, some cheap attempt to fool you into letting me go. Every word of it is true. I know the sins you burdened your soul with. I know the fate that awaits you in the next life, and I will gladly tell you every detail.
Ah! You're down to just your thumb. Now go on, if you're so eager to tell me. Let's hear about my supposed next life, shall we?
Gah! In your next life, you lose your memory in an accident, causing you to forget your own humanity. The innate savagery you normally kept hidden beneath a mask is revealed unrestricted, and you turn into a creature no more than... No, you turn into a beast. My mask. You murder countless people, including the woman you once called your lover.
Lover?
Her name is hers is the name you know very well. Pauline, your tether. My tether. How do you know that word? Because I know everything. I know what you wanted, and I know where you were never able to obtain. You idolized humanity and you yearned for peace.
You're telling me I kill the nun in my next life?
I am. That is the fate that lies waiting for you. Her love for you is so strong she refuses to believe you're dead. She leaves her seaside hometown in search of you, and she finds you, but you slaughter her.
Did you say she lived in a city on the sea?
In addition to her, you also lose someone else, a woman who tried to give you the peace you so desired, which eventually causes you to succumb entirely to instinct. Enough! God, I would be screaming.
Alright, fine. Now I know what you are. You're not a mere seasoned liar. You're some kind of evil spirit that deceives humans. You're peering into my heart, tailoring your lies specifically to manipulate me.
I am not. I swear, I've seen everything that happens.
Enough!
There's a chance you can change your fate. All you have to do is cease your involvement in Morgana's imprisonment. Set her free. Oh, fetch! Curse my hand! My poor broken hand. Set her free. Allay the hatred she bears for you.
Are you deaf? I said I've heard enough.
Release Morgana. Save your soul. Give her a better future.
Silence!
Ah!
I think I'll take your arm off first. Cut right through your shoulder, nice and slowly.
Don't.
You'll still be attached for a while yet, don't you worry. You hear that, spirit? The sound of your flesh ripping apart? The sound of your muscles being severed.
Oh my gosh. Huh. Not gonna be doing much talking anymore, are you? Not through the pain, you aren't. Plead for your life, spirit. Beg for mercy. Admit it was all a sham. Apologize. Let the room fill with your cries of agony. Nothing was a sham. Every last word is all the truth. I'll rip that head out of your shoulders. I don't care who or what you are anymore. You're dead! Who could this be? You will do no such thing. Huh. Oh my gosh! Holy crap! Holy crap! Get back! You will not harm him further! Pauline. What are you doing here, Pauline? I told you to stay away! That the door was locked! I opened it. You. One of Nellie's hairpins was long enough to get into the lock and undo it. She won't be getting much use out of it anymore, though. Busted it up pretty badly in the process. The locks on the tower doors are too complex, but the ones here are a lot simpler. But you never expected me to go cat burglar on you, huh? Freaking Mel! I like him now. You're annoying, but I like you now. Stupid boy. Oh. Was that your question last night again? Something about being on the edge of a cliff or whatnot, whatever. Well, here's your answer. I'll do everything I can to save both of them. This is terrible. How could you? Oh my, you're badly hurt. Sit tight, I'll call for a doctor. Don't worry about me. You need to talk to him. To get him to talk. We've got to do something about you, though. I'll get that wound patched up at least, until you get properly checked out. Thank you. Was it you who went to get Pauline? No, I ran into her while I was looking for you, which is when she told me she was looking for him. Neither of us was having any luck, so we scoured the mansion together. And when we reached the stairs to the cellar, I heard the screaming and my worst fears confirmed. So I picked the lock and here we are. Sorry we didn't make it sooner. This could have been avoided. God, look what he did to you. There's so much blood in your fingers. No, you made it just in time. My arm's still attached and I'm not dead. Neither of which would be true without you. So I guess that means I actually did something good for once. Did something for someone other than myself. That you did. So everything Michel said is true. The Lord isn't storing his valuables in the tower. He's got a girl locked up there. Take that to the bank, you psychopath! Well, is it true or not? It's still the Lord's property either way. The church is being funded with her miracle blood. So that makes her valuable, yes. So you're saying I've been handing out human blood and telling people it was medicine? Not human. Witch. No, Morgana is a human girl. She hasn't become a witch yet, at least here. All this time, I've been lying to the people who believe in me without even knowing what I was doing. Like you said, you didn't know. I haven't done anything wrong. You haven't done anything wrong. Ignorance does not excuse sin. All the time I spent with you, and I didn't notice anything wrong. That was the idea. You weren't supposed to notice anything. It's not your fault I deceived you. It's unreasonable to think you should be able to have been able to. So you're just gonna insult her now, huh?
All that? You did it to help me, though, didn't you? Like a stupid little girl, I assumed it was all out of the good of your heart. Never once stopping to think any deeper than that, about where it was all coming from. Maria was right. I was blind. I was content to be pleased about the people I thought I was helping. I want you to do something for me. I want you to set Morgana free. Please, do not make your sin any greater than they already are.
But without the witch's blood, we lose the Lord's patronage, and then the church.
What good is a church that isn't actually saving anyone? Actually, no. That's avoiding the point entirely.
What do you mean?
To tell you the truth, I never really cared about the church at all.
Okay. Wait, fetch, curse! My hand has betrayed me. You what? How can you say that? Wait, you've always been so unconditionally charitable. Even if it means giving away food or the money you need for yourself. People call you the saintess because that's what you are, a saint.
It's true. I do that. But the fact is, I'm no saint. I don't deserve to be held up as one, nor do I belong in that position. I'm just an ordinary girl. I never wanted to be a nun, you know. I just didn't have any other options available to me. I'm sure I didn't have the confidence to make it out there on my own like Maria. So I did what I was told. And to keep myself from thinking it was a mistake, from feeling dissatisfied with that choice, I put everything I had into my responsibilities to the church. My unconditional charity was rooted entirely in selfishness.
You know, I actually know how she feels a lot. This is a very real feeling I've had, but not in the pious sense. Lately, I've lost a lot of weight, and I've heard some of you commenting and congratulating me on it, and I'm very grateful for that. I've worked really, really hard. I've been changing a lot about my life to do this. And I actually plan to come out with the full story once I complete my journey. I'm still working on it, and I still have a lot of progress to make. But there's more to it than that. There was one other time where I lost the weight before. Part of the reason why I got the help that I needed this time was because of what happened last. I left home after I graduated high school and spent some time kind of abroad, you know, doing some door-to-door sales in North Carolina. I was out and about doing that thing, and I was working with a lot of other people my age, but a lot of them were very health conscious. You know, they played football or sports or track. You know, they were very fit. There was a lot of self-consciousness about, you know, being like attractive and being like down the dating scene and everything, and like the talk started to get to me. And while I never struggled dating growing up in high school, I always hated how big I was. It was something that plagued my entire life. It has for my entire life. And I remember when I was out there, I was under a lot of personal stress. The first time away from home, I was really burdened and overwhelmed, and I didn't really know how to deal with it. And I was like away from home and my friends, and so there was like just not that buffer that I really needed. And so I turned it on myself. I started starving myself. I motivated myself saying that I was doing the right thing, I was getting healthier, and when I started losing weight, I started getting praise for it. People commenting on how good I was looking and how smooth everything seemed to be working out, and how it was so good that I'd made so much progress. But that was a lie. That was all a sham. Because I was starving myself. I wasn't getting the nutrition in, and I kept losing weight far past what should have been healthy. I actually got so sick because of malnutrition that things like just standing up from a chair, I would get dizzy because I was getting so anemic. I remember one time I was walking down the road and I almost passed out, just full on collapsing into the middle of the road. And I luckily had a snack on me, and the instant I got some food in me, I felt better. I was so malnourished that I was teetering on the edge of consciousness at one point. I had an intervention, thankfully. People who cared, who noticed, stepped into my life and showed me that what I was doing was wrong. Helped me gain control of myself again. But that's the idea that the nun's talking about here, what Pauline's talking about here. She's saying that her entire motivations and the drive that drives her so hard is born of selfishness. And that's exactly what anorexia is. And that's exactly how I suffered. I was driven by a self-loathing, not a desire to get healthy. And that feeling doesn't go away just because you're doing something that is kind of right. Because losing weight wasn't enough. I had to become a skeleton and had to have people stop me and threaten to get me into like a rehab in order for me to really understand how bad things had gotten. Now, I came home and I managed to keep the weight off for a bit, but after I had a knee surgery, I ballooned. Because of the unhealthy way I had lost the weight, that never changed my body. My metabolism was the same, and so as soon as I had to keep off my feet for a few weeks, it all just came right back. I'd undone everything I'd done, destroying myself in those 2 years. In like 6 months. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't a lifestyle change. It wasn't an adjustment. It was so broken. I was so broken. It was the darkest moments of my life. It was the darkest point of my life. And now I'm losing the weight because I'm making life choices. I've changed my diet. I've altered things. I've taken steps to take it so that I'm doing things properly by consulting doctors, taking proper nutrition, getting my vitamins in, following medical procedures and medical advice. And I'm motivated instead of trying to be good looking, but I'm motivated to be able to stay around for my family, to be able to see more of my life, to travel like I've always dreamed, to be able to do things that I thought were not possible because of my poor health, that I got myself into because of my background, my bad habits, and my unwillingness to let go of things. I've managed to finally do it in a way that is healthy, and I really hope I can keep it off. But the thing is I was just like her. Living a lie. And luckily for me, I was able to get brought out of it before it got so bad. Her whole life, the years she spent doing this, that she's felt no genuine joy through. I'm sure she enjoyed helping people, that typically feels good. But very clearly, she didn't ever feel like it was her. What a waste. She may not be withering away physically, but I think that spiritually she probably is a skeleton just like I was. I hope that's the lesson most people don't have to go through, and I hope that's something you can listen to. A bit of a soapbox, but I think it's too much resonance with my story. I never really thought that Pauline would be the one that I would connect with on a personal level that deeply with. Like, holy crap. It's rooted entirely in selfishness. That's exactly what it is, and what drove me to starve myself. It was rooted in selfishness and self-hatred. And the longer I kept it up, the harder it became to stop. I forgot what I really wanted. And what would that be? A normal, happy life as an ordinary girl. In a city on the water. What? That's what you said when your dream was for your next life. Ah, right. Yeah, a quiet life with the man I love. You might get that wish, in fact. Huh? That's what you said, wasn't it? That in her next life she lives in a city by the sea. That is correct. In your next life, Pauline, you are not a nun. You're an ordinary girl who lives in a seaside city. A sweet, cheerful, energetic girl who wears her heart on her sleeve. You have both your mother and father. And I... So you believe me now? I don't know. Your claims are utterly ridiculous, but it's genuinely getting harder to think you're lying. If that's what you really wanted, Pauline, what should I have done instead? I envy what you had, that solace. The last thing I wanted for you was to lose it. But you're saying you'd found no peace in that life? That's right. So what should I have done? I wanted you to take me away from this place. Somewhere far away. I wanted you to make it so I could be Pauline, not Marie. That would have made my ideal life. To live with you, to have a family with you. So she couldn't take that step because she just didn't know if he'd be willing to commit. But if he had taken the step to run away with her, she would have probably left in a heartbeat. How? How was I supposed to know? You couldn't possibly have known. I realize that. And that makes every bit as complicit as you. Set Morgana free. I will be expected to pay for my crimes. That itself is not a problem. I have every intention of facing the consequences. But we have done terrible, gruesome things. I don't know what the usual punishment is for such as in this land. But if I had to guess, I would say execution. And being an outsider makes it easier for people to place the blame on me. I won't be able to take you away. We'll find each other again in the next lives, okay? Okay. Can't they just run away? Can't you just give us the key and they could just flee? At least they have a chance, right? As I'm sure you heard, my involvement in this conspiracy ends here. I'm glad to hear you've decided to take action. Sorry about your fingers and arm. I'm still alive, that's what matters. The third key is in the Lord's possession. You said you needed it by noon in the Harvest Festival, yes? Which means you need to act quickly. That's correct. We must set Morgana free before the bell tolls noon tomorrow. Then tonight, that's the next time the Lord will be here. Tonight I'll kill him and take his key. Wait, no, we're not shedding any blood to get his key. Do you remember what I said a few minutes ago about not committing any further sins? He's not likely to hand over the key without a fight, though. We need to convince him, not force his hand. Besides, simply opening the door is not enough. Why not? My goal here is to save Morgana's soul. In order to do that, I need to pacify at least some degree of the hatred she bears in it. A hatred rooted in her perception of you and the things you've done to her. I need to change that perception. I'm not quite following. What do you mean, change her perception? For you and the Lord to tell your stories, to describe what happened from your perspectives. You want my perspective? I do. Something in your motivation or your circumstances that might serve to lessen the animosity she holds for you. The greater the discrepancy in what she believes you to be the truth and the full story, with everyone's perspectives included, the greater the chance she might have a change of heart. Okay, I now understand what you want from me. However, my perspective will do nothing to serve that end. There is no ambiguity, no justification for my actions. Regardless, I would still like to know the whole truth, if you're willing to tell me your part of it. Okay. I'll come by your room later today. Hey, is it alright if I'm there too? Sorry, I would rather if you weren't. Why? Everything you need to know I've told you already. I captured a witch. No, I kidnapped a girl for profit and imprisoned her in the tower. My motivation, as I said, was to keep your church funded. Those are the facts. The things I did along the way were brutal and inhumane. I hope you can understand why I wouldn't want the woman I love to hear any of that. I understand. I'll see you again later in the day. I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting.
I should get going too. You're going to need medicine and something to get that arm dressed properly. If there's anything else I can get you, let me know. If you want to see a doctor, I'll find you the best one I can. I'm so sorry for ever doubting you.
No, I understand. I'm glad you came at all.
Me too. Well, see you soon. I'm kind of surprised. He's actually got a soft spot, huh? And I was sure you were full of it when you said the two of them had a thing going. What does she see in a guy like him anyway? She's got a bad taste in guys, that's for sure. What's with that look?
Just admiring your rather inappropriate remarks.
Sorry. I was just so relieved it kind of came out.
It's okay. You almost got a smile out of me.
I've never seen you smile before.
I blame being relieved too. Now, would you mind helping me get back to my room?
Sure, no problem. My shoulder's all yours. You know, you really are something else, Michel. I could hear you through the door as I was getting it open, and honestly, I'm amazed you were able to stand up to him like that. I don't want to get my hopes up high enough just yet, but I'm starting to think you might actually be able to do something about the Lord.
That's reassuring. Thank you.
Sure. Anyway, let's get going. You should get as much rest as you can until he shows up. Well, I mean, you should be going to see a doctor with those wounds. Oh yeah, Nellie's been worried sick about you all day. I'll have to tell her not to pounce on you because I'm sure she'll come running up to you as soon as she hears we found you.
Yeah, please, no, that sounds terrible. Giselle, you were right. I do have people here who will support me. People who are grateful for me and who show concern for me. But you have to know, Giselle, it is your voice I want to hear more than anyone else's. Why can I not hear you? Where are you, Giselle? Giselle? Fitch. Alright, well, we're going to stop here. We're going to get the story next time, probably in 2 parts. But man, is this one going to be a brutal one, I'm sure. Oh my gosh. Well, that was an episode. Holy cow. That was insane. I don't think I'd be coherent after the first finger, let alone 4 or 5. Oh my gosh. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. I hope this works out. I mean, it's going to, but I hope it works out. And I hope I don't die again. I've had enough of that. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you understand where I was coming from with that story and why I shared it. It wasn't for pity. It wasn't for, like, garnering, like, sympathy. My life was my life, and those were bad choices that I made. But I wanted to say it because I understand that position of making decisions motivated by selfishness. And I think it's important to be aware of that, because what's most insidious is that those are the lies that really get you into trouble. And they're the ones you're least likely to know. Very likely you're sitting here thinking to yourself, well, I don't do that kind of thing, thank goodness. But I'd be shocked if you don't at least a little bit. And I'm not sure if it's easy to find until you get so far along it that you actually are in danger of damaging yourself and need help. But I think it's important to be able to know and recognize that if people are getting concerned, give it some thought. Really examine the way you think and what you've been doing. Because if I hadn't listened, I could have been in serious medical, emotional, and like just traumatic danger. I'm really glad I had people who loved, supported, and encouraged me. I love who I had people who were willing to tell me that I was wrong rather than let me continue down a path of destruction. I'm grateful that they intervened despite the fact that they knew I could explode, take it the wrong way, or never speak to them again. Because I might very well owe them my life for it. I have no idea. At the very least, I learned how to love myself. And that's why I'm doing this now. The motivation, I said again, this is about self-love and life. My motivation is so much better. And I think that's why it's so much more impactful this time. And hopefully long-lasting. Anyway, enough of my soapboxing. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. Again, it's a pleasure having you as a part of this series. This keeps going on and on, but I think we're learning a lot of important stuff. So thank you for sticking with it. Stay healthy, stay smart. Hopefully you can get through the rest of these next few weeks and months without too much trouble. And until the next video you watch with me, I hope to see me in next. I'll see you there.